intermittent fasting may be the hot new way Hollywood celebrities lose weight, but this ancient discipline that's practiced in the Bible has other health benefits. As our Lori Johnson shows us, scientists have found remarkable health improvements that go way beyond the red carpet.
The Bible tells us fasting is good for our spiritual health, but new research shows it benefits our physical health too. The latest weight loss craze is intermittent fasting, which means going without food for a long period of time each day. Many people choose to fast up to 18 hours a day and only eat within a 4 to 6 hour window.
What's great about intermittent fasting is that you can do it some of the time or most of the time and still stand to reap great benefits.
Celebrities like Jennifer Lopez.
Okay, now, so as you can see, this video is about intermittent fasting, and intermittent fasting has been around for centuries. It's been around for a long time. So this is nothing new. The thing is, you know, just like this whole vegan thing, it's becoming more mainstream. I'm not even gonna say mainstream. It's becoming more popular because of social media and things of that nature. So that's why intermittent fasting is kind of being introduced like a new trend. But in reality, this is something that's been going on for centuries. Like I said, this is an ancient method right here. This is nothing new at all. So this actually was uploaded about 15 hours ago on this news channel. So yeah, so basically this video, we're gonna be reacting to a couple of videos that are health oriented. So yeah, let's dive back into it. Let's go.
As Kourtney Kardashian, Selena Gomez, Beyonce, and Hugh Jackman reportedly choose intermittent fasting to lose weight. But researchers at the University of California and elsewhere say the benefits go beyond looking good.
There are 10 years of really interesting data and very compelling research studies on intermittent fasting, preventing atherosclerosis. There may be cancer prevention benefits.
And protection against Alzheimer's, heart disease, even aging, while boosting the immune system. Fasting triggers the release of old, inefficient cells, making way for new, healthy ones, doctors say.
Even though we would still recommend.
So this process that they're talking about is called ketosis. So it's basically when your body is, ketosis in itself is when the body is burning its own fat. So any fat that's left over or stored inside of your body that your body has not, released, ketosis allows your body to burn that excess fat off of you, which in turn allows you to lose weight or release weight or release waste. It's all the same thing, just terminology. And at the same time as this process is going on, actually, this happens, I think, about after 14 to 16 hours. After 14 to 16 hours, that's when ketosis starts to kick in. Now, after 3 days, now this is kind of a whole new topic or a different topic, but real cell regeneration and cell repair comes after 3 days of complete fasting, which means no solid food consumption at all, just liquids. Now you have your water fast, your juice fast, your water, juice, and tea fast. Some people do fruit fast, where they only eat water rich fruits like watermelon, mangoes, things of that nature. But intermittent fasting does also allow the body to replenish its cells also. So this is what they're talking about, but let's get back into it.
A healthy, balanced diet, we're not as focused on what you eat, rather when you eat.
So while ancient...
Right, it's how much you eat. That's the thing about intermittent fasting. It's about limiting your food intake and focus more on burning off excess toxic waste, which, you know, it makes us put on, you know, unwanted weight. That's excess waste. So this is what intermittent fasting allows us to do. And even our ancestors did this periodically. Like, this is not something they did every once in a while. It's something they did periodically. This was a way of life. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that I myself do myself. You know what I'm saying? And intermittent fasting is very beneficial if you're trying to lose weight, if you have a ailment, condition, whatever the case is. Intermittent fasting is very beneficial for anybody who's trying to get healthy or remain healthy. Okay, let's get back into it.
Scripture tells us forgiveness, letting go of worry, and fasting bless the soul. Modern medicine tells us these practices also benefit the body.
Well, the Bible says it again. Pat?
Well, Laurie's here to join us to talk about intermittent fasting. Apparently, when we fast, our body wants to mobilize its strength to fight off starvation, and it's that is the health benefit. What is released when that happens?
Well, it's true. Our bodies turn into a lean, mean fighting machine when we go into fasting. And we've known that fasting is something that health practitioners have been recommending for thousands of years. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, recommended it 400 years before Christ in ancient Chinese medicine. But as far as Western medicine, they need scientific proof. And now they have it. The results are in, and fasting is good for almost every area of the body, and they now know why. And it's a little thing called autophagy. It looks like autophagy. I've got a graphic here. Basically what this means is auto means self, phagy means consume, and what happens is within our cells consume damaged particles and portions in our cells and then regenerates them. So it's wonderful for all of our cells, including cancer cells. I mean, this is something that goes on, but when we fast, it accelerates it.
Well, you know, some people would think, well, there's got to be a 7-day fast or a 30-day fast or two. Actually, they're talking about, half a day or 1 day of fasting, and it doesn't have to be too long, does it?
Ideally, what you want to do when you're intermittent fasting, and you can do this every day of the week for every day of the year, is you go 16 hours without food.
Okay.
Which actually 18 is even better, which basically means you have a 6-hour window of eating. I do it all the time. It's not that bad. I'll eat between 12 noon and 6 p.m.
Right. So I don't know what the hell is going on. Hold on. This fucking quality just... This is stupid. But yeah, to her point about the time frame. The time frame is very important because, as I mentioned before, after a certain period of time, ketosis and autophagy, it's kind of hard to pronounce, but it's autophagy, that's when these processes take effect after about 16 hours, to be more precise. So the longer you fast, the more efficient and the more prolonged this process is. So let's say you fast for 16 hours. Well, some people, they might start out 15 or 14 hours and then move up to 15, then 16, then 17, then 18, then 19, then 20. I've done up to 20 hours. I've actually done I think I did one time, I did 22 hours. Just testing the waters and stuff like that. And you don't have to do that, because the longer you fast, the shorter your time time frame, your window of eating is. So if you fast for 16 hours, that leaves you with 8 hours of eating. If you fast for 18 hours, like she said, 6 hours, because it's 24 hours in a day. So it's up to you. It's based on your lifestyle, your day-to-day tasks, whatever the case is. However your life is operated, you have to manage it based on your circumstances. So that's why the time frame is very important. And just start low and then work your way up to Start from 14, or you can even start from 12. Start from 12, then work your way up to 14, and then up to 16, then up to 18, then up to 20. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this definitely works. You know what I'm saying? This is not nothing new. This is not nothing out of the ordinary. This is something that's been around since basically the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? And you got to remember, our ancestors, the ones that were living, you know, in nature, they only ate out of necessity. And that's why a lot of our ancestors, well, some of our ancestors were meat eaters. Well, not meat eaters, but they ate meat for survival, out of necessity. Not because it tastes good, but they needed food. So when it was time to eat, they ate. They went out and hunted and got their food, bring it back to the village, and everybody ate. And then the rest of the time is fasting from there until their next meal. You know, so that's what we got to get back to. Instead of eating so much, we have to focus on eating less and drinking more, meaning drinking more liquids like juices and even smoothies, and most importantly, water. Because we eat so much, we forget to drink water. You know what I'm saying? So we need to get back to that method, or that you know, ideology. Well, not ideology, but you know what I mean. We need to get back to that. You know what I'm saying? It's very important, because we eat too damn much. In America, we eat too fucking much. That's why we so fucking fat, out of shape, and sick. So we got to get back to that. And I don't know why this quality is fucking up again. But let's see if it should work now.
So basically, you're just skipping breakfast. But it's something that this is what a lot of the health...
She said something very important. She said you're skipping breakfast. Now, let's break that down. All right, let's break down the word breakfast. Breakfast. The first part of the word breakfast is break, right? Second part of the word is fast. You break fast, breaking your fast. See, we look at breakfast as just a word, a term for a time of day that we eat, or the first day of the first meal of the day. Instead of looking at it for what it actually is by definition, when you break down the words, right? So when you are eating breakfast, you are breaking your fast. That's why it's the first meal of the day. So it's very important how and when you break your fast. So just because now that you are incorporating intermittent fasting into your lifestyle, that doesn't mean you're not having breakfast anymore. You're still having breakfast, you're just having it at a different time. You know what I'm saying? That's all you're doing. So while you're intermittent fasting, you might have went from eating breakfast right when you got up, and you might have had some, pancakes, sausage, eggs, whatever, typical American, standard American breakfast, right? Now that you're intermittent fasting, you might break your fast, depending on when you started it. You might break it at 2, 3, maybe 4 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Depending on when you started your fast. And you might have a smoothie, a salad, something light. You don't want to break your fast with anything heavy. You want to make it as easy as possible on your digestive system, because that is the most important meal of the day. Because when you get up, your body is rejuvenated from sleep, and it needs some fuel, some real fuel. Especially if you have a busy work schedule, or you have a lot of tasks to complete within that day. You want to have as much energy as possible, so it's important so you don't feel sluggish. And that's why most people are addicted to coffee and sugar, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So break fast is important. Let's continue.
Practitioners are recommended. Of course, it's not recommended for some people, like pregnant women and people whose doctors have told them to eat a certain way. So for generally healthy people, this is what you're talking about.
It's like once a week. You don't have to do it all the time.
You don't have to do it all the time. Some people choose to have this as their regular lifestyle. Some people only do it every once in a while. But Science has shown us that when we do fast like this, when we go for 18 hours without food or longer, that we have mental clarity. And we know from the Bible that a lot of times people will fast so that they will hear from the Lord, that they're seeking the Lord for direction in their lives. And also we know from the Bible that the enemy of our soul creates confusion, and that in the Bible we're told that when we fast, we can drive out demons. And this helps fasting, we know, drives out this spirit of confusion. So once again, science and the Bible link up, and I'm like, I could have told you that. Why'd you need to spend all this money on research?
Is there a book or a pamphlet or anything about this, by the way?
There's a lot of information on the internet. We have wonderful information on our website, cbnnews.com. But this has been shown to really affect intermittent fasting is really wonderful for our hormones. It increases the human growth hormone that makes us young and vibrant. And it also helps reduce heart disease and reduces our risk for diabetes. And, just when you think about it, again, getting back to the Bible, we're told to rest for one day. Well, our bodies need rest too. When our bodies aren't busy digesting food, they can self-cleanse. They can detox. So we're talking about our liver, our kidneys, our...
She is spot on right there. And this is what people don't understand. This is why people do not heal, because like I said before, once again, we eat too fucking much. We eat anywhere between 3 and 6 meals a day. 3 to 6 meals a day. Let that sink in. So you're eating 3 to 6 meals a day. How many hours or how many even minutes do you think your body has to recover, to stop focusing on digesting food, which takes a toll on the body? It takes a whole lot of energy, and that's why when you eat a heavy meal, you feel tired. You feel you're in a comatose state. That's because your body didn't use up so much energy. Now it needs to rest. It needs to recharge. You know what I'm saying? So that's we need to break out of that cycle, out of those habits of eating so much, so we can allow our body to heal itself, to self-repair, self-cleanse, because that's what it's designed to do. But every time we eat, especially when we eat garbage, especially when we eat heavy foods and highly acidic foods, we break that process. We hinder that process, and now the body is now trying to get rid of the new shit you bringing into it. You're introducing to it. You know what I'm saying? So now, on top of the old shit, now you done piled on some new shit. And people, we do this for years and years and years and years until it's too late, until you lay on your deathbed. You know? So, and then we not even talking about all the side bullshit we bring in, like cigarettes, alcohol, coffee, whatever drug you want to name. Like we not even bringing that shit in the equation. We just talking about food. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I don't want to divert the conversation to anything else. We're just gonna focus on that. But yeah, intermittent fasting is essential to the body's self ability to heal. That's what it's designed to do. It is giving your body a break from digesting food, especially heavy food. All right, let's finish. We got about 6 more minutes. Let's finish the video. Let's go.
Lungs, our colon, all detox when we're fasting.
Fabulous. All right, now we're talking about epigenetics, by the way. Does fasting have anything to do with that?
You're so good.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
All right.
When I was researching this, I thought Pat's gonna love this, because yes, it's been shown that when we fast, it turns on the good genes and turns off the bad ones, and that's what epigenetics is for folks who aren't up to speed on it.
A question, by the way, that came in, and I want to throw it to you. This guy said, okay, we've done this gut flora thing. How do you know if your gut flora is good or bad? That's
a great question, and they're working on a test.
All right.
They're working on a test, but you just have to do your best. And there isn't, as we know, a test that accurately shows what your gut flora is, except there is one. There you go. Now you can talk about that on national TV because remember, people are eating right now.
I don't want to ruin their food, but that's the only test there is.
Right, a fecal test, and
Right, I was gonna say that. As far as getting a measurement of the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, the only way to really know that, or to have any idea of it, is the smell of your urine and the smell of your fecal, your stool. Now, that's a whole nother conversation, but that's why we must pay attention to what's coming out of us. Everything that we shit out and piss out, we need to pay attention to it, even though it might be gross. But hey, you put it inside of you. So who's the gross one? Who's the gross one? You know what I'm saying? So we gotta stop being so immature about our own bodies. That's our problem. It's so immature. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to look at it. We don't want to examine it. We don't want to do nothing. We just eat and shit. That's all we do. But anyway, let's continue.
for people who know what that means, they can examine it, and they really do find all kinds of information about what kind of bacteria, good and bad, you have in your intestines. And then they're doing the fecal transplants, which is a whole other thing. But that is actually very, very effective.
Amen. Well, I think we've helped a lot of people with that, because it's, they're overweight, and the thing that people didn't realize, that in their gut there are little bugs that are causing them to overeat, and they're taking control of their brain. These things actually affect your brain, don't they?
There's a thing called the gut-brain axis, and the bacteria in our gut directly affects our brain, even to the point where it influences things like Alzheimer's and dementia. And we hear so much these days about the rise in suicide and depression, and one has to wonder if that's associated with poor gut microbiome, because our gut microbiome is destroyed by antibiotics, processed food, sugar, and artificial sweeteners. And people are eating this food in greater quantities than ever before.
And they're sucking down these diet drinks, thinking that somehow that's going to make them thin. It actually makes them fat.
It has the
That is so true. Have you ever been to a buffet? I've seen this shit so many times. Have you ever been to a buffet and you see a big overweight motherfucker get a whole bunch of food, right? Walk back to the table and be like, I need a drink. He go back, get a drink. This motherfucker come back with a diet pop, a diet Coke, or a diet whatever. Like, motherfucker, who are you trying to fool? Like, and these motherfuckers talking about I'm on a diet, I'm trying to lose some weight. Nigga. That shit is hilarious, man. I never understood that shit, man. That's funny.
Adverse effect. You're right. The diet sodas have been shown in studies to actually cause weight gain.
Okay. Well, I think that's your Christmas present. And when do we start fasting right away?
You can fast in very many ways. Intermittent fasting, which is the new big craze, and it does lead to weight loss, but so many other health benefits. That is typically you fast for 18 hours a day, which means you just eat within a 6-hour window, which really means you just skip breakfast. And a lot of people are like, oh no, I have to have breakfast. Okay, then just skip dinner. Eat between, 6 in the morning and noon.
Okay.
Just whatever 6 hours you choose. But of course there are lots of other ways to fast, and the Bible doesn't really specify.
You're not skipping breakfast once again. You're not skipping breakfast. You are, only thing that you're doing in terms of breakfast is you are changing the time in which you consume breakfast, which means you're changing the time which you, or the routine in which you break your fast. That's all that is. Okay, remember that.
How to fast. You can fast for 1 or 2 days, or have just a teeny tiny little bit of food for a week, 500 or 600 calories a day. There are lots of different ways to do it.
I remember we were in New York, work, somebody said, well, we're going to have a fast. And what kind of fast? I said, no pleasant bread. And so what does that mean? It said, you're not going to eat dessert. Well, so we haven't been having dessert anyhow.
That's not much of a fast.
No pleasant bread. That was a Daniel fast.
Yeah.
Well, Laurie, thank you so much. You're always up to date on these. Ladies and gentlemen, she's bringing you cutting edge epigenetics, the gut flora, this whole thing about intermittent fasting. This is, cutting edge medicine that is going to make people healthy, and especially with stuff like Parkinson's, which is so prevalent these days.
Yeah, and we're not flat out victims anymore. There are so many things we can do to prevent these neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. As far as a cure, not so much, because these brain cells are already dead, but we can do lots of things to keep them from dying in the first place. And speaking of brain issues, I'm going to be back on Monday on the 700 Club to talk about a very serious situation, CTE, the brain disease that we know has affected football players, but now we're talking about people in the military, people who are victims of spousal abuse, anybody who gets hit in the head. And guess what? Concussions do not cause it anymore. It's hits to the head. So you can get CTE without ever having a concussion. So this is a must watch for folks, especially parents who want their boys.
Yeah, so this gonna wrap it up for this video. But yeah, just to sum it all up, I highly suggest and recommend that everyone adopt or incorporate intermittent fasting into their diet or / lifestyle, especially when you are either healing or you are maintaining health. Either way is beneficial. Okay, so think about it. All right, till next time. Peace.